What's up, YouTube? It's Leah's mom, Ty. I'm doing a video today about my labor and delivery story. Of course, I am not pregnant currently, and I have not recently had a baby, but I like these videos and I see them all the time, and I wanted to share my experience because I almost died during childbirth. How, you ask? Stay tuned and I'll tell you. When I was 40 weeks pregnant with Leah, when I went to my OB appointment, my OB checkup, week 39, she swept my membrane. Anything over 39, you're considered full term. So you can ask your doctor, just an FYI, if they will sweep your membrane when you go to that appointment. And what sweeping your membrane is, you can Google it, but essentially they take their hand into the cervix and do a sweeping motion to try to break your mucus plug or take it out. Some people do a multi-sweep where they just keep going around trying to make sure they get it all. Most doctors will just go in and do a, maybe like a one or two, and so it usually just some people, it does spark up labor, but a lot of people, it just, like me, just cause a lot of cramping, but nothing happens. To January 14th, if she would have went the whole way, she probably they would have had to take her on my birthday or something. So I am that person, like, no, she cannot come out on my birthday. We must get her out before. And so my doctor was like, okay, I'm gonna give you 4 days. If she doesn't come in 4 days, I will induce your labor Sunday. So of course she didn't come in 4 days, so they decided to induce my labor. So I went to the hospital, checked in, triage and everything like that. They hooked me up to all the machines. They put 2 bands on your belly, one that monitors contractions and one that monitors the baby's heartbeat. And then they hook you up, IVs and everything. Like, I was strep B positive. You can either be negative or positive. If you don't know what that means, it's just like a bacteria that they, when you're about I think, when I want to say 36 or around 36 weeks or something like that, they'll swab the vagina and the anal area and then send it to the lab. It either comes back negative or positive. I actually had it, so they have to give you IV antibiotics, so when the baby passes through, they don't get it in their eyes or mouth. So they hooked me up to that also. And so they started with just checking me, and of course I was 1 centimeter. I think literally everyone in their granddaddy is 1 centimeter at at the time of labor starting or getting ready to progress that way. But I was not a face, I was not anything but just 1 centimeter. So usually what they do is they ripen your uterus, gets it ready to go into labor. So they don't just give you Pitocin. Like, a lot of people hear about Pitocin, but they don't hear what comes before Pitocin, because they won't just especially if you're not like facing or anything like that. If your uterus is not ready, they will get it ready, basically. Sometimes they put a Foley bulb, which is a balloon that they will blow up. That hurts. I haven't had it done to me, but I am in the medical field, so I've seen it. Does not look like it's pleasant. What they decided to do with me was give me Servidol. It's like a little tiny pill, and it's probably like the size of like a birth control pill. You know how small it is? You can fit it just on your hand. And they take it literally, they put it on their hand, and then they stick it in there, and it's supposed to ripen your uterus. And so my doctor was not there yet, and I guess they were calling her, but a doctor that works in her practice that I've met quite a few times, because again, I've met all the doctors and knew them all. He came in, and his resident, which most hospitals are teaching hospitals, and it's the worst. If you have a teaching hospital, if you go to a teaching hospital, just know you do not have to let anyone teach on you, basically. Like, they're learning, and I know everyone has to learn, but this experience made me not want to let anyone else learn while working with me. So the resident comes in, he checks me, and after the Servidol, they waited about 30 minutes and then came and checked me again. There was nothing. So, and she checked me, which if anyone has had a child, they know checking is almost worse than a contraction. It is like, it makes you want to punch whoever is doing it at the time. So I'm like, okay, ooh, what's going on? Like, why are you checking me so soon? It's only been 30 minutes. But she checked me anyway. And so she's like, okay, well, if the we're gonna give you about another 30 minutes. If your contractions do not start up, we will start Pitocin. And so I had not been having any contractions before I went in to get induced. I was only having Braxton Hicks, and if I walked for a really long time, like I tried walking, hot food, jumping jacks, sex, anything you could think of, I tried it to get that baby out of me. But nothing was working. It would cause me to have Braxton Hicks, but as soon as I stopped whatever I was doing, the Braxton Hicks would stop also. So so I don't know what she said that sparked my labor, but they put the Servidol in at 12 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, I was 2 centimeters. And so they're like, your contractions are coming regularly 2 to 3 minutes. So we won't give you the Pitocin. If it continues to be this way, we'll just let you go, because it went from nothing to something real quick. Because I don't know if my uterus just didn't know what to do, but as soon as that Servidol set in, we was off. We was off the races. It was like somebody had shot a gun. It was like, phew. So my mother-in-law was there, my sister-in-law was there, and I had kind of told everyone to kind of like stay away, and I would call everyone to the hospital around 5 centimeters, so it could just be me and my husband, and we would just, you know, but they were really excited, and so they wanted to come, so they were there earlier, and everything happened so fast that it was kind of good that they were there. And then my best friend ended up showing up not too long after that. No one listens apparently, but it's a good thing because I wanted everyone there. An hour later, they come back and check me again. They decided that checking me every hour was a good thing to do because my contractions were so strong and they were so frequent. They were literally coming every 2 minutes, and they were strong. They kept asking me, like, are you sure you don't want any medicine? We can call the anesthesiologist right now and we'll get you. I'm like, no, I'm good. Let's just stop talking to me. So I'm just dilating a centimeter an hour. By 5 o'clock, I was 6 centimeters. And so I started at 12. By 5, I was 6 centimeters. And this is where it gets a little tricky. So I went to the bathroom. Everyone I went out there had just checked me. I was 6 centimeters. I went to the bathroom. And I used the bathroom, and then I came back. As soon as she hooked me back up to my IV, she got it back up on the little long pole looking thing. It was just a gush. TMI. But I didn't know what my water breaking felt like. And I'm like, I just went to the bathroom. Why am I peeing on myself? And it's like a lot. And she's like, she was still there because she literally just hooked me back up, and she's like, oh no, honey, that's your water breaking. And I'm like, okay. She was like, we're just gonna change your sheets. And I'm like, but it's still breaking. My water is still breaking down here. Like, it felt like it was going on forever. And so finally it stopped, and she looks down there and she's like, oh honey, I see meconium, and that is the baby's first bowel movement. And so I like to pause just right here and say, this is another reason I didn't want to go over, because they tell you that You read that and Google universe, and the doctor kind of tells you that they don't let you go over too long, because around 39 to 42 weeks is when they will have their first bowel movement, which is like a black stool, and that's how they can see it in your when your bag of water, because the water is not more bloody and clearish, TMI, sorry, but it was tinged with black from having the feces in it. So of course they were a little worried, because generally if you've had the meconium in there, that means they have swallowed it, and a lot of bad things can happen when you swallow the meconium. Like they can develop lung issues, pneumonia, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I was already starting to freak out when she said that, and she was like, okay, I'm just gonna go tell the doctor, it's not a problem. She's changing all these pads, because when I say it was a lot of water, amniotic fluid, it was a lot of fluid there. And so and it was still coming. And so she was like, I'm gonna just try to make you a little bit more comfortable. I'll change these pads, but I need to go speak to the doctor. And the doctor came in, and he's like, why all the while these contractions are still coming every 2 minutes, by the way. And so they're trying to talk to me and tell me like, oh, you know, don't worry about it, it's fine. You're progressing kind of fast anyway. We'll just hope that this will calm down. Sorry if you hear that, my dog is growling. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's progressing fast, so I won't even worry about it. I'm just pray about it, give it to God. I'm not gonna worry about that. And all of a sudden, now all the fluid is out. It has finally stopped leaking. But at the same time, the nurses come running in, and they're like, turn on over your side, turn over, get on your left side. And I'm like, okay, calm down. So I turned over on my left side, and she's like, well, the baby heart rate has dropped. We just need you to lay on this side for a little while. And they give me the oxygen, and they're like, just stay on this side. So I stay on that side, and then maybe like 15 minutes later, she comes back in, and she's like, move to this side, move to this side. And so she's like, every time you move, like, she must be in there moving, because she keeps having decels, which is decelerations of the heart. And so she was like, I'm just gonna go talk to the doctor, because we don't know why she's decelerating right now. And so the doctor comes in like immediately. It was like less than 5 minutes later, because that was the second time in less than 30 minutes that her heart rate dropped. And he's like, I don't want to alarm you, but I think because all your water broke at one time and all the fluid came out, your daughter is laying on her umbilical cord, and so she's not getting any oxygen. But when you move, you get off of it, but she might be rolling over and rolling right back over it when you move. So it was like, she already, you know, might have swallowed that meconium, and she's having decels. I think we should just go ahead and do an emergency C-section. He was like, I don't want to alarm you, but I think it's important that we do that. And so I'm like, oh, say no more, let's go. Like, I don't want those kind of problems. If you're saying that this could be an issue, let's go right now. So we went ahead, boom, boom, boom. When I say it went fast, I never got my epidural, because I was doing okay, managing the pain, just woosahing, focusing, doing all these breathing and everything like that. So when they got me into the room to prep you for surgery, they had to lay me on the little, what's the name, and they make you go like this, kind of lean forward while they stick you, and they're telling you, oh, you must be still, we can paralyze you, blah, 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 all while I'm having contractions. And I'm like, and the pain is like so severe that I'm shaking, and like when I'm breathing through them, I'm shaking. It's so bad. And he's like, oh, you just make sure you're not moving, because I don't want to paralyze you, haha. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's something we want to joke about at this time. So they go ahead, and he does it immediately. They lay me down. They're like, lay her down, they strap my arms out, they put your arms out, they strap them down, they put your hairnet on, and they drape you up, put the drape so you can't see past your belly. And I remember started yelling, like, I can still feel my legs, don't don't cut me, I can still feel my legs. So he's like, calm down, we won't do anything before you're numb, don't worry about it. And I could feel them rubbing and, you know, cleaning me up down there, my stomach, and, you know, still instruments clinging and everything. And then my husband comes in. But even before my husband comes in, I hear, like, I feel tugging, but I forgot that I couldn't feel my legs, and they had already cut me, and I just that fast my legs went numb and I didn't feel anything, because before my husband even got in there, they had already started cutting me. So they cut me and everything. My husband is there holding my hand, you know, trying to keep me calm and everything like that. And less than, I don't even know how much time passed, but she was out very quickly. And I heard her crying, and then immediately I just burst out crying, and then my husband burst out crying, and we're all just crying, and I hear her crying, and it's just like the best thing ever. I mean, like, I can't even literally, I cannot describe. It was like euphoria, just like nirvana. It was everything. And so they brought, you know, they said she's 7 pounds 21, she's 7 pound even and 21 inches long. They call time of birth, and I'm like, what's her APGAR scale? And me being working in that medical field, I'm like, what's her APGAR? I need to know the APGAR. And the APGAR scale, please look it up and it will tell you the determination. But hers was 9, and I was like, oh yes. So it calmed me a little bit that she had such a high number. And so they're fixing her and everything like that, and also they're working on me. They bring her over, my husband takes a picture, I get to kiss on her a little bit, and then they take her away to finish cleaning her and take her up. And so my husband went to go let everyone know what had happened. Before then, when they called emergency surgery, my husband had called my sisters and my mom and everything like that for everyone to come up. So they were already out there. So he went to go tell them. And so I thought, oh, okay, good. They're just stitch me up so I can hurry up and get out there. I want to hold my baby. I want to do skin to skin. And then like 1 or 2 minutes after my husband has been gone, I hear she's bleeding. She's like bleeding a lot. You need to control the bleeding. And this is the doctor. This is not my doctor. My doctor never made it, because again, it all happened so fast. But he's telling the resident, the doctor that I knew from working in the same office as my doctor, is talking to the resident that he's teaching, who apparently he let take the driver's seat on my C-section, and he's telling her, like, she's bleeding out, you need to hurry up and you need to catch what's bleeding, you need to find whatever it is. And like, you can hear the urgency in his voice, and I'm thinking in my head, like, why don't you just take over? Like, why are you letting her figure this out on her own? Just like, and I start to like breathe like really fast, and like I feel like I'm going to pass out now because I'm losing a lot of blood. It's just like I'm feeling dizzy, and I was thinking in my head, like, why don't you help her? But I couldn't voice the words because all of a sudden I was feeling lightheaded. It was a lot of blood. And he's like, well, just, you know, he's talking to her, like trying to coach her through it. Like, well, just do this. Like, you need to cut this off. And like, all I hear is words that don't make any sense to me. And he's like, good. And by this time, I'm just like breathing. They put the mask on my face. I'm like breathing hard. And I'm like, where's my husband? I don't understand. Like, I just had my baby. I don't want to die. Like, I don't understand. I'm already anemic. If you let me bleed, I'm just going to die. So I'm just freaking out. And eventually she gets it, whatever it was. I don't even know. Because at this point, like, I just feel like the room is spinning. It's like, and I'm assuming it was an anesthesiologist, is just telling me like to breathe. You need to breathe. You need to breathe. And I'm like freaking out. My arms are still strapped down, so I can't move. And I don't know if I'm hyperventilating from being scared that this lady is about to let me bleed out and die, or if it was the blood loss or my nerves. I have absolutely no idea, but I was freaking out. So they finally get the bleeding under control. I was bleeding for a good like 3 minutes or something like that. That's what it felt like. It was a really long time. And they finally got it together, stitched me up, and when I tell you, like, they move you over to the bed so they can wheel you out, there was so much blood on the floor. Like, I'm like, great, now I'm gonna need a blood transfusion. Like, it's not unfamiliar to me. I've already had 2, but I'm like, damn, residents, you know. And so I'm like, you know, if there's any residents out there, I mean no harm. Everyone has to learn sometime, but it's just when you're learning on me and you almost kill me, I kind of have a problem with that. So sorry, I know you guys are really good and everyone has to learn sometime. I was new at one point, and so I understand, but still, it was just a scary experience to have lived through. And so they wheeled me out and they put me up and they put those things on your legs to make sure you don't develop blood clots. And then that's when they bring my baby in and they give me the skin to skin. They put her in under my gown, and they tell me they'll let my family come in and meet her. So everybody came in, said hi. It was awesome, and that was it. But that was pretty crazy events. It literally took from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock for me to have my daughter. It was the fastest first birth. It was really fast, and of course because it was a C-section, it was even faster. But I think had I not had to have the C-section, I would have given birth fairly quickly. So I'm hoping to do a VBAC for my next one. That is it. That is my story on my labor and delivery for Leah. So let me know in the comments down below if you've had any same experience, your experience with VBACs, if you know anything about that. So we're about to get our hair washed next, so excuse our hair. What did you want to say?
Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe to our channel, hit the bell button. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And stay tuned.